This is the enhanced Craig Tube Porter. I'm going to grab a flashlight, and you might just be able to see through that. You might just be able to move closer. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty dark, but it's still not completely dark. But cheers. This has been sitting in a bottle for, I don't know, a month and a half now. Whoa, holy frig. So good. That is a nice beer. We'll get back to that later because that's an extract, well, a partial extract, so extract with grains beer. And there's a topic for later that I was going to briefly talk about. I got asked a question. But in the meantime, happy Homebrew Wednesday, guys. Sorry I'm a little late today, but stuff happens. So you might be watching this on Thursday, but still, happy Homebrew Wednesday. And yeah, that's just... You can probably hear the movie going on upstairs. Sorry about that. It doesn't matter. That is just wonderful, beautiful beer. You do have to try this. I think I published the recipe somewhere, but if I haven't, let me know down there, and I'll put it on my website. I'll put both recipes on my website so you can do the old one. But this new enhanced one is just, it's amazing. It's heavenly. Okay, enough. All right, so few topics today, a couple things. First of all, I'm just trying to look at what I've got in the background here. There's laundry detergent and stuff, but no, anyway. I want to thank some of you guys. Last week I talked about putting flavorings into my wash, my alcohol mixture there, and because I was thinking, those little bottles that you buy that are $5 each, but you guys had some really good ideas, and I never thought about these. I went out and bought a couple of these. Never even thought. We have these around the house all the time. These are these little Mayo flavor things. They're concentrate, and so you just open them up and you just turn them upside down and you squirt them into your bottle of water or whatever it is, usually just water. And so I tried putting them into my wash, and it was just wonderful tasting stuff. Really, really nice. So that's a great idea. So now that gives me incentive to go out and get the I was going to call it power yeast, turbo yeast, and make another 5-gallon wash, and I can bottle it and then just squirt stuff into each bottle, and we'll have all kinds of different flavors. The other thing that you suggested, and I think this is what some of you meant, I'll just cover up the brand there. These are those coffee whitening flavor thingies. This one is, I don't know it. Hazelnut. Okay, so I'm going to try this. I've got a glass right now. Good excuse to be double-fisted. This is not clear. I actually buggered it a little bit when I put it in the glass. I stirred the sediment up, but I don't care. So let's take some of this hazelnut coffee flavoring stuff. I don't know how much to put in. About that. We'll grab something here. I haven't tried this yet, so this is, we'll give that a little stir. Might have to put some more in. This is an experiment. Let's see. Cheers. Holy. That's good. That looks like a glass of milk. Hey kids, want some milk? Jeez. That's really good. Probably could use a little bit more. No, that's fine. That's really good. Shh, don't tell my wife. That's her. It's her stuff. Her flavoring stuff. Yeah. Now I'm double fisted. Now I've got two absolutely amazing drinks. Is that dirty or is that just from the stirring it? Two very amazing drinks. Cheers. Which one? Okay. Excellent idea. And these are what? These are $3 or $4 for all that. So that'll do quite a few drinks, for a lot cheaper than the little bottles of stuff that only do one bottle. This will do a few bottles. So that's a great idea. So thank you so much for helping me with that, because I was thinking, what can I put in there? I've even thought of just getting a lemon, squeezing a half a lemon into it, and doing it that way too. So there's lots of stuff you can do with that. So I'm going to go up and get the stuff to make another one, and I'll do a video. Now, I get it in it's a black package. On one half, there's the turbo yeast, a whole crap load of it. And on the other half, there's liquid charcoal, which helps in the clearing. And then after it's all done, I add the chitosan, I don't know how to pronounce it, chitosan or the isinglass stuff you can even get. I've got some of that too. Put that in and clear it, and then you've got yourself a nice 20% alcohol wash to add. God, I'm going to get drunk tonight. I've got some of this left, and sheesh, it's delicious. I think my wife would even like that. Yeah. So it'll be a little bit different with the wash I'm going to do, because this wash didn't ferment down all the way, so it's a little bit sweet. But this hazelnut stuff has enough sweetening in it that it should take care of it. And I think, you could do like one bottle at a time or something. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the wash, 5 gallons of it. I'll do it on video. For those of you who don't know what a wash is, it's just alcohol. It's just sugar, water, and yeast. You basically ferment it. And the yeast has the ability to ferment up to 20% alcohol. That's why it's called turbo yeast. And then you take that alcohol once it's done, and it's filtered and cleared and everything, and you just add stuff to it, and you make little drinks like that. And beautiful. I don't know how good this coffee flavoring stuff is for you. I don't know how good these little mayo things are for you either, but, well, anyhow. So that's great. Briefly, just going to touch up on the topic of last week was the yeast. Pitching it, spreading it, on top, leaving it, stirring it, all that kind of stuff. And so I was reading the comments down below from last week's video of you guys talking about it, and I think the definitive answer really is that there isn't one. I think that everyone's got their own technique, and I know there's obviously an exact science behind yeast. There's obviously chemistry there, and we do have a few people in our community that do have a background in chemistry. But all in all, it doesn't seem like, even if you go on the forums and you read people talking about this, it doesn't seem like there's really a cut and dried answer. Some people stir their yeast in, some people just sprinkle it on top, some people rehydrate it, some people culture it and make more yeast out of it. And I can't seem to detect that anybody really, the topic isn't really being swayed in any particular direction. Everyone seems to have success no matter what they do. So just by gathering your comments and just from what I've been thinking, I don't think it really matters a lot how you pitch your yeast. Some people are going to say they swear about doing it one way, and some people swear doing it another way, and some people swear that you have to make a starter, or not a starter, but you have to rehydrate it, or you're going to kill some of it. And and I've been brewing for a long time, and I've been just sprinkling it on top, and I've never really had a problem. I have rehydrated my yeasts before, and I do it quite often actually. I don't really notice a difference in flavor, overall flavor in the beer. So rehydrating the yeast, for some of us might seem a little unnecessary, but there's chemical reasons why people say that you should do it. So I think, again, it comes down to the bottom line. You do it the way you feel comfortable with it, whatever works for you. Maybe someday someone will do an experiment where they do 3 beers, identical beers. One they sprinkle the yeast on top, one they stir the yeast in, and one they make rehydrate the yeast, and see what the difference is. And even that's not a very, a very good test, because you can do 2 brews side by side, identical ones, with identical yeast, everything, brew them the exact same way, and one can taste a little bit different than the other, just based on the age of the yeast and just how the way things kind of go, So I think it would be very difficult to do a controlled experiment that tells us, the different effects on the beer based on, how you pitch your yeast. Okay, so I'm a proponent of sprinkling it on top and leaving it. I used to stir it in, and I've got videos of me saying, yeah, I gotta stir it in, Sometimes people change. I don't think it'll hurt it if you stir it in. I don't think it hurts it if you just leave it on top. I don't think, as long as the damn thing, starts to ferment at some point, I think whatever way gets it fermenting faster is probably the best bet. And if rehydrating it does that for you, then so be it. It's just an extra step that it could introduce an infection. And if you're careful, you're fine. Okay? So that's the yeast thing. And thank you for your comments. I love watching the discussion down in the comment section when I do these videos, when we discuss things. I do appreciate your input, and it really adds to the pool of knowledge that we can all share, us homebrewers, as we bounce things off each other, I did get a question, and I've talked about this, I don't know, dozens of times. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, because you've heard me talk about this many times before. But his question was, what's my opinion on the difference between extract beer versus partial extract beer versus all grain beer? Okay. And we've talked about this, and we've debated it, and we've done all kinds of discussion. Look, I just brewed a Mr. Beer kit, for Pete's sake, so I'm not, leaning in any particular direction. Here's my short take on it. There's no better. Well, because it depends on what your definition of better is. If better is to spend, 3 days making a spaghetti sauce, some people, I've heard, believe me, I've heard people let these things go for hours and hours and hours. Spaghetti sauce, it just simmers forever. Uses up a lot of electricity, takes a long time, and all that kind of stuff. You kind of got to watch it and keep your eyes on it and whatnot. But maybe that spaghetti sauce tastes absolutely incredible. So is it better? Well, that depends on your definition of better. Is it nice to sit around for 2 days or whatever amount of time it is and watch something on the stove? Or is it more convenient just to open a can of good quality canned spaghetti sauce? And there are those out there. There are good ones out there. And just heat it up and add some stuff to it and let it go for a little while, and and then you're done. There's so many components that go into making beer like this. There's the time involved, there's the ingredients, there's the freshness, and so, look, I've done a few all grain beers myself, not a lot. I've done a few. I don't have time to do them all the time because of YouTube, basically. If I didn't have YouTube going, I could do a lot more all grain beers. But this keeps me busy. This YouTube thing is quite time consuming, so I don't have a lot of time. But the ones I've done, they were great. The very first one I ever did was absolutely a wonderful, beautiful beer. It was just really, really nice. The second one I did after that was not quite as good. It was okay. There was nothing wrong with it, but it didn't have that oh my God factor in it, you know? So, I mean, there's two all-grain beers. One of them was amazing. One of them was pretty good. Right? Now, and that's both of them all-grain. Okay? So, I mean, I could do a recipe, an all-grain, let's say an amber ale, let's say. Do an all-grain version of it, do a extract version of it. And who knows which one's going to be better. If you can't get two all-grain beers to be absolutely amazing, then, I don't know, there's really no way to tell whether it's all-grain is better or part extract is better or, you know, because you just never know. Things are there's so much that can go wrong and there's so much that can go right. I think that all-grain beer can reach levels that extract beer can't usually. The hell are they watching up there? Because all-grain beer is just it's the freshest beer you're ever going to drink. I mean, you took the grains, you know, and you ground them up and you mashed them and it doesn't get any fresher than that. You know, so there's that. I mean, there's a certain pizzazz to all grain beer. It just has that home baked, if you will, if you're making your own bread kind of thing, or it's got that homemade, home baked element to it that just tastes. It's unparalleled, but it's very time consuming. Extract beer, man. Well, look, the proof's in the pudding here. I mean, it looks like pudding too. This is an extract beer with added grains. And this is an amazing beer. And those of you who have brewed the old Craig Tube Porter, I think the responses I got from it was that you thought it was a great beer. So, and that's an extract beer. So, I don't know. I think that, man, that is good. I've only got 2 bottles left. I'm supposed to age these more, but I don't think they're going to make it. Again, I don't want to go on too long about this. I think that it all depends on what your, what you've got available to you as far as time, equipment, ingredients, availability, and all that kind of stuff. I can make great extract beer. I can make bad extract beer. I can make great all-grain beer, and I'm sure I could make bad all-grain beer. Is that I hope that answers this question. Because you can take this, and you could put this up against an all-grain Pilsner, let's say. 2 completely different beers. Is one better than the other? Well, there's no way to tell. This is a chocolatey, coffee, thick, beautiful, not sessionable, but mouthful, beer. I would take this over an all-grain Pilsner, right? Just because that's what I'm in the mood for right now. But maybe in the summertime when it gets really hot, I'm gonna choose the Pilsner over the, Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough about that. Let's look and see what we've got going on here as far as the next thing I'm going to be brewing. And I think that'll be it for our video. So let's grab the camera. And I've got here, I don't know what kind of beer this is going to turn out like. I've got a bunch of grains here. Let me just look and see what I've got. I've got about 240 grams of Munich in there. And I've got about 500 grams of Cara Blonde. in that bag there. And it smells amazing. It smells beautiful. I've got some light liquid malt extract. I've got some high malt glucose. Okay. I've got a bunch of hops here. These ones I received from one of my viewers. These are Apollo, very high alpha. Those are my bittering hops. Probably going to use about half of these. That'll be about 1 ounce. And I got some various things. I've got some Saws here and some Cascade. So I'm probably going to be just sort of staggering these in throughout the boil, maybe half an hour. I might only use one of these. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know. Whatever I feel like. I'll put this one in at like 15 minutes. Maybe this little bit of Cascade here I'll put in like the last 5 minutes or something like that, or 1 minute. And so that's my recipe there. I'm just going to do it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's probably going to be pretty good beer. And it's going to take me about a couple hours to make that. And I've got some SO5 Safale yeast that I'm going to put into. So, and that's in the fridge here. So that's my next brew. I've got a Cooper's IPA with added hops. I've got a red wine here. That particular red wine is a Bergamasque. That's what it is. And it's actually almost ready, and it's tasting superb. And that's about it. I think that's all I've got for you. I've gone on long enough. Anyways, I don't know. Thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing and rating and all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you Friday on my live Justin TV broadcast. I'm starting to get a buzz. I better get off this camera before last week's introduction actually happens. And we'll see you Friday. And cheers. And yeah, 17. See you guys. Be safe.